Hello, my name is Sara Estrada-Villalta, and I am currently faculty and program director at our psychology program at Prescott College. Psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior, and you can approach this from so many different theoretical perspectives and lenses, and our program aims to provide you with both the basic knowledge about psychological science, but also many different courses that allow you to explore all of the different theoretical perspectives and ways of seeing the mind. The main interest and advantage of coming to get an undergraduate psychology degree with us is this ability to explore holistic and critical ways of approaching psychology, so that we don't only focus on mainstream approaches that tend to be reductionistic in thinking that perhaps psychological distress is something that happens inside people's minds, which is not very productive of interventions that lead to well-being sustainable. So here we encourage students to look for different perspectives and different points of view to understand that human life occurs in a larger context, and that we need to understand everything that surrounds us, because the human psyche only has meaning and is made possible when we consider it as being inside of context. And that includes social, economic, political, all kinds of context. We also encourage a cross-cultural and cultural perspective, so that students think about how living in different parts of the world can shape psychological processes and the possibilities for well-being. The kind of student that will be the most successful in our psychology program is the student who is interested in taking leadership of their own learning process, the student who is curious, who asks a lot of questions. So in our typical classes, we do tend to meet in classrooms and talk about psychological theory and research. However, we do this in the most meaningful way possible, and so often we change the plans of a course based on students' questions. So when I teach Introduction to Psychology, for example, I encourage students to tell me what exactly they want to know about mind and behavior. And so then we get together and talk about the existent research that answers that question. So I believe that curiosity and interest about the science and the world is one of the main things that will determine success in this program. Our undergraduate psychology course prepares the students to apply their knowledge and skills across many different career choices, but one very important choice that students make is to become counselors. And one way that they can do that is through joining our accelerated master's program to become a counselor. There are different specializations that are offered here, but you can combine your undergraduate studies with graduate work towards the goal of becoming a counselor, which is one of the most wonderful career paths that psychologists can take, because they truly will be working one-on-one with people to promote well-being. My favorite course is one of the required courses called Foundations of Critical Psychology, which is designed to engage students in a conversation about the historical and critical perspectives of psychology throughout the history of the field. There have been some mistakes that, instead of promoting the well-being that we all want to when we go into psychology, sometimes has harmed populations. So we explore the voices of different types of people across the world to critique psychology. And in order to build a better science that truly reflects the needs of others. Another of my favorite courses is called Living with Loss. And this is a course that is focused on grief. Grief is something that everybody experiences at some point in their life. It's not just about losing loved ones, but you can lose all kinds of things. You can lose plans, dreams, you can lose objects. And so grief is an experience that we all go through. And in this course, we use different types of psychological perspectives to think about grief and about how best to approach it and live through it and integrate it into our lives. And then another course that is among my favorites is called Holistic Health and Well-Being. And this is aimed at exploring different approaches towards the promotion of well-being. That, of course, we cannot just think about well-being in medical or individualistic terms, but we have to understand that the person is embedded in different contexts. So, for example, the current version talks about how financial structures, both individual and community and societal, can have impacts on our well-being and what we need to do to promote in terms of that kind of process. To promote health and well-being holistically. But we can also talk about uses of nature, our relationship with the environment, our relationships with our close others, our families, right? So there are many different elements of for the possibilities of well-being, and this course aims to talk about all of these types of possibilities. So I'm very excited about talking with students who are interested in coming to our program. So please feel free to reach out to me at my email. We can talk about any aspect of the program that you wish to know more about or about psychology in general.